Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. Begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Sharon. Welcome. Sharon's first time here with a live, so make sure that you welcome Sharon. We're happy to have you here with us. Hey, AJ All Day. You have cheesecake, you motherfucker. All right, I'll let it slide. I have asparagus, but cheesecake sounds fucking phenomenal. Okay. Hi, Edith. Hi, Sarah Bellum. It started funky. I don't know what to do. Hey, Little Red. Christina J. It's not rocket science, dude. Fragile like a bomb. Oh, fuck. I forgot to. All right. You know what? Let me do it now. 1 second. How can I take a picture? Uh, how can I take a picture when I need both my hands in it? Crap. How can I? Does anyone know? Actually, you could flip. Is there like a timer? No. How do you take a photo? How do you take a photo with both of your hands in it? Timer. Oh, okay. Nope, 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 nope. I missed it. Did I get it? Oh my god, no, I did not get it. Oh, I want to take. All right, whatever. I'll do it later. You can, Lisa? I wanted to. Hmm. Okay, did I do it? All right, wait, I did it. I did it. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing, sorry, anyone who wasn't on Patreon will probably be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Well, what I'm doing is we ended up going over 2 out of 3 of those Wade Wilson calls. Remember, if you were here last night, why does it look like I only have 3 fingers? All right, whatever. Um, if you were here on Patreon, we went over those Wade Wilson calls that were I was contemplating last night. Oh, should I go over it? Like maybe I'll be impulsive, and thank fucking God. That's all I'll have to say is thank God I did not make the impulsive decision to start playing those calls on my live last night. And If you know, you know, because that was the most. No, it was last night though that we were going over the Wade stuff here on the channel, and I was like, maybe I'll be impulsive and play these calls, right? No, but earlier today on Patreon, yes, we ended up going over it, and it was the most highly inappropriate shit I could ever express. We had to stop before we went over the last one. That's how bad it is. And so I was supposed to take a picture of my fists together. Sounds so awkward, but I was supposed to take a photo of my fists together, and I forgot to do that, so I was trying to do that now. Yeah, Tobeans, it was bad. It was bad. I'll never, like, it forever fucked up Peppa Pig for me. Let's jump in muddy puddles, George. You know, if you ever seen Peppa Pig, yeah, muddy puddles are forever. That's it. They're gone. All of the innocence is. Yes, Emily. Yeah. Which we have a new call from phone calls from prison, an appropriate one. And we'll be going over that tomorrow night after ATS News's virtual baby shower. So, well, did you hear the ones that aren't posted? Because if you're saying you didn't hear any that were super bad, then you have not heard the ones we're talking about. Hey, Harlot. Hi, Amanda. It was yeah, it was the worst. The worst shit I've ever seen. Oh, it's so sad, guys. Elijah Vu is, officially off the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children website, which obviously I knew he would come down, but it's just, bittersweet. Bittersweet. Okay, so today we are continuing on with Daddy Grusing. We have Special FBI Agent John Grusing resuming the stand. But before I do that, let me pull up our missing child for tonight's live stream. And I am apologizing now because I'm definitely going to pronounce her name wrong. Okay. Which I really, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Kids, the website is absolutely amazing. I just wish they would grab better photos because all the photos are not good. Like the quality of the photos, the angles of the photos, like you obviously want to see all of their features, and some of the photos are just, I think that I don't know where they get it from. So this is Tykia Misty Robertson. She has been missing since September 12th, 2024. Okay, so very recent, out of St. Louis, Missouri. She is 16 years old. And so if you or anyone you know has information on her whereabouts, please contact the Webster Groves Police Department at 1-314-645-3000. Once again, this is Tykia Misty Robertson in the St. Louis area. No, they were not with Kiosk Kristen. So the nasty calls were 2024 current, and it was from a woman from Germany who was here on a visa. Hi, MK. Oh, I'm sorry, I've lost my ownership. Now I have gray legs like Tisha. We don't discriminate, Margie. But you'll get your green legs back. You'll get them. Hi, Sandy Hale. So let me entertain. They were vile, I know. We still have the third one to do over on Patreon. And I don't know if I'll do that either later tonight or tomorrow. We'll get there though, but I need some holy water before I enter into that Thunderdome. Okay, so I'm just going to start by sharing my whole screen because I know the audio is going to end up getting glitchy, so may as well just do that now. Absolutely, Tobeans, I absolutely can. And she's only been missing a couple of days, so definitely good to get the word out. I would love that. I'll post it right now. Let me just start the stream. Ew, I hate hearing my own voice. Okay. Hello, Curious Christine. And you guys, again, if you didn't know, tomorrow afternoon we are hosting a virtual baby shower for ATS News. I have virtual bingo that you guys can play from the chat. I'll just give you like a link. You click the link, your own little virtual bingo card will pop up. We have baby shower edition Wheel of Fortune. I have trivia where I'll be asking the chat just basic questions, and the winners all will get virtual gift cards. So if it's something that you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you guys come and hang out with us tomorrow and celebrate the newest YouTube baby. Okay, shall we? Let's go for this. All right, so let's see. Were they taking a break? Yep, they were taking a break. They had just got done listening to a call. Thank you, Curious Christine. Thank you, darling. I so very appreciate that. Let me give her, I feel bad not being able to do like a thank you. So I have to come over here. I feel bad. I want to be able to highlight it and give you a thank you. Thank you so much, darling. Okay. So John Grusing is returning to the stand. We had just got done listening. Hi, Candace. Good to see you, darling. We just got done. Hi, Rhonda. Listening to the last call, the latest call with Al and Letecia. What we do know is we have 2 calls left because Michael Allen was nice enough to give us a heads up of how many we have left. And then we have the interrogation too with Grusing. So we still have a lot of Grusing left, and I know nobody is complaining about it. So let's just jump right into it. We got Tisha looking like she has a tilt-a-whirl on the top of her hair right there. And she's being Lego as ever.
One thing I would just wanted to give the court an update on, we've got 3 of these phone calls left. I'd like to get these done before the end of today.
Okay. Oh,
and so I'm not going to necessarily call Mr. Grusing back up to the stand between each phone call.
See, he tricked us. He said, I'm sorry, I took a nibble of asparagus, not expecting to have to talk so quickly, but he said we have 3 left, but he tricked us. He wasn't including the one he was starting to play. That sneaky little Alan.
The next one is 22 minutes, then we've got a 58 minutes, and then we got a 29 minutes, which should be about right.
It's going to be pretty close.
It'll be really close. But then that will allow us to jump into his interview of the defendant on Friday morning.
Crime Crochet, thank you for 10 damn months. You became a member again. Did I miss it? Either way, thank you. I couldn't watch my boo while in gross gray. No, you certainly could not have. Thank you for 10 months, and thank you, Musicity Mom, for 15 fucking months. Wow. Thank you guys so much. Your support means more than you could know.
And again,
about 5 hours, that one.
that one is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is this, 58, 59?
So 57, 58, and 59 are the last 3.
Okay, and they've already been in, so
Destination.
you can go ahead and play them.
They have
one
been,
after the other if you want.
Jenny, Patreon shouldn't be too complicated. I know a lot of us are kind of still navigating Patreon, but I made Patreon to where it's basically an unlisted link on YouTube when we go live. So you'll get notified in the Patreon app, but then you'll be able to click a link that'll bring you right back into YouTube. So you'll be familiar with it. But if you have any questions, there's a chat in there. You could either go into the group chat or you could private message me, and I'll help you walk through if you have any questions.
Did they say
And then
5 hours?
Do all your questioning in one
Did you hear that?
chunk.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
All right, all right. Let's go ahead and bring the jury in then.
Friday is going to be a day and a half. It's a good thing we have a
I'll
day
just
off
make a brief
tomorrow.
record of the dates and how long each call
That's
is.
fine.
Hi,
5
snacking,
hours.
not cracking.
Friday, we're going to have a 5-hour call.
No, it's not
That's going to go all of the morning and some of the afternoon.
a 5-hour call.
We'll have lunch break before the call's over.
What are you smiling at, Tisha?
Who has a phone battery that lasts for 5 hours? This is awful.
31,000. He did. I think it was. Charlie had some.
Hey, Chapo.
Leticia's
Dude, I
Yes, it
love
is.
asparagus. I don't know about you guys.
turning
Keep
up
that
to
in
11
for a
as far as the
while.
hairstyles go. Do you see this?
Take it anymore.
Yeah, she's full on tilt-a-whirl.
Maybe he's one of them.
Yes, they are.
Candace, there is no defense. Like, we all anticipated that. Like, oh, okay, you know, wait till defense is up because they're not putting any defense during prosecution's witnesses. But no, we get Dr. Dorothy Lewis rolling up on here, and it is the cringiest defense I've ever seen.
Now got the rhinoceros
Not
or the
Kay,
hammerhead do
for
going.
sure. I don't know
Hey,
about
Harry.
six.
Oh, is WebEx on, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder if he was gonna come in wearing a Hawaiian flower shirt today under his robe.
Jury, please.
Okay. Hey, look at Tisha's face. Look at Tisha. Yo, I'm jumping back. Yo, look at Tisha. Okay, watch.
See?
Interesting.
Wow.
Look at her. Look at her.
Does
Why
have,
does she look like
does she have
that?
something in her part on the right side?
That's a good question. She's got like those slits in her fucking side.
It looks like little lines. I'm not sure if she has pencils or toilet
Tisha,
paper or
what
something
you
stuffed
wait a
in there.
second,
I think it may
Tisha.
all be seen.
What the fuck do you do to the side of your okay, first of all, why does your hair look like a full-on fucking lace cap wig right there? The hairline is not natural, but what the fuck is going on there? It looks like a fucking Skechers logo in the side of her fucking hair. Where did it go?
Seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358 versus Letecia Stauch. Records should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good news is we have more phone calls to listen to. Bad news, it is only 3 left.
Okay.
No. We listened to this. We listened to that, dude.
Okay. Okay, who was Gannon last with?
They don't ask you questions.
Yeah.
If
We
you're
were
gonna
in the
say
wrong
this
spot.
bitch, and all this, you're gonna accuse me of somehow still that meaning that there's
Nope,
plenty of
I have to
times
find
that
the
people
spot.
have done this, and
We'll have our evening break, and I'll see you on Friday morning.
Yeah.
Again, don't
I'm sorry.
discuss case in
We
long.
must have been in the wrong spot. I knew there were only 2 calls left. See? Thought I was going fucking crazy.
Asked you every day previously. Has anything occurred since we were last together that causes any of you to believe you could not continue to serve as a fair?
I did. Hold on 1 second though, because now I'm starting to question.
Is that absolutely wasn't Gannon sending those texts. I know. Okay, so
I feel like that proving it with the polygraph, answering questions and trying to get people on the right track of looking. The future
Did we listen to this?
be together. Definitely. But when they go outside, in which one of the moms, I know who she is, if I could show you a picture, her little boy is in the opposite class that Anna's in, and he's just a nightmare.
No,
the whole time I
no, we didn't listen to all these. Hold
was in
on.
a separate hotel room.
You,
Well, no, that's her daughter too, so we split time, and I don't have to justify myself to you about that. It's her daughter, it's my daughter, and we're splitting time. We're helping take care of, because guess what?
and you got to go into that and being like, are you involved in your
Why did I
stepson's
lose my
Ask
spot?
you, was he injured?
Albert?
Not if you did it, but was he injured? Did they ask you that?
Okay, so here,
Okay, see, she's talking about the polygraph.
To make the wood smooth?
it has a handle on it. We were looking for that because we thought that that has a
Where
little
did
handle
the
on it
spot
or
go?
whatever. You know what I'm talking
Where did the fucking spot go? Hold on, guys. 1 second. 1 second. Let me go to my last live because I don't know why it jumped out of the spot. Okay. We stopped. Okay, we stopped with the Paint Marie. I pulled up those. 3:49. Oh, we did. Okay. All right. Jesus. All right. I'm fucking nuts.
That there were
I'm
two
sorry, we
jurors,
did listen
two
to it
juries
all.
that sort of came in at the same time and wanted to make sure everybody made it to the right place.
All right, let's try that all over
all right.
again. We have
Again,
Tisha in her new outfit. She is an off blue. I hate to see her in any type of blue because blue represents Ganon. But her and Talini are talking it up. He is red as ever. We have Grusing that's going to resume the stand. But I guess I don't think they got through all 3 calls though. That's what was throwing me off. We finished that day, Emily, but what threw me off is Alan said that he wanted to get through all 3 calls, and we didn't get through 3 calls that I remember, but I guess we'll find out.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I've asked you every day previously. Has anything occurred since we were last together? If that, when we took our break, we were in the midst of some telephone calls, I believe it was. And Mr. Allen, how do you wish to proceed at this point?
So we were in the middle of, just so the record is very clear.
Exhibit 57.
57 we finished. Actually, I think 58 we finished, Judge. And we had also at the same time, former Special Agent John Grusing on the stand.
Yes.
He's here, so we were just asking him to retake the stand.
Okay, Mr. Grusing, if you would retake your seat in the witness stand, I remind you, sir, that you're still under
Come
oath.
on, Daddy.
Okay, our sounds are turned off for trial, so we won't have the sound effects active.
How tall is he? Perfectly tall.
Good morning, Mr. Grusing.
Good morning.
So we've had an opportunity to listen to all of the phone calls. We've got still one more to go.
Okay. We have still one more to go, he said. Okay.
In your experience, as you're working this particular case, are you using the information you're gathering from these phone calls to develop what you talked about on Wednesday, this pattern of behavior for this particular defendant to inform you of how you're going to interview her eventually?
Yes, we were working as a team and talking with Al after each call to determine exactly what happened on that call. And then before we would make contact with Letecia the next day, we would compare what we learned that day to previous days to see maybe what our new strategy would be.
Did the strategy change like you're describing from phone call to phone call or from day to day sometimes?
Yes, and even in the middle of a phone call, it might change depending upon her answers.
I noticed in the, I think it was the last phone call, there was a change where you start using the word, or Al does at your direction, I think, start using the word murder as opposed to accident.
That's correct.
Why did that change happen?
It seemed to us that Letecia was not accepting that this was an accident, even though we kept on posing that through Al. And since she was rejecting that, we encouraged Al to see what she would react to if we said, well, possibly this was a murder and possibly you were responsible.
In that last call also, People's Exhibit 58, I want to ask you about third person. In your life experience, have you encountered people?
Now, he's asking Grusing about third person because if you don't remember, Letecia would often say, Tisha didn't do nothing by accident. Tisha didn't hurt him. Tisha didn't murder him. And she uses that as a distancing technique, right? We, as human beings, don't, like, our bodies do not want to lie. Like, we can make the conscious choice to lie, but our bodies, interesting enough, we fight it. And so that's a distancing technique that she uses. So it's really interesting.
That have referred to themselves in a third person?
At times, yes.
Would that be both professionally and in just regular everyday life?
Well,
yes, most of it was outside of the FBI, actually.
That's what I'm eating.
Can that be a hallmark of somebody that's self-absorbed?
It can be, yes.
Okay. Did you find Letecia Stauch during these phone calls and even during your interview with her that we're going to get to later this morning to also be self-absorbed?
Yes, almost every call was centered around her and how she was feeling instead of us trying to get.
So there we have Al right here, bottom right, and to the left of him is his new wife at the time, Melissa.
Get her to focus on Ganon.
Okay. As it relates to
Not
those last two phone calls,
asparagus.
57 and 58 that we listened to on Wednesday afternoon, was there any other important information in those phone calls that you used to develop that pattern of behavior in your mind going forward? And obviously, this is a very open-ended question, but I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to explain those issues.
When Al posed to her about possible injuries to Gannon when he was talking with her about murder, she removed Gannon from the conversation and said, "You're saying words like, did I murder someone? And did I hit anyone over the head with a board?" And she basically took Gannon out of the injuries that Al was accusing her of doing. We were trained to look for gaps in the story, like hours missing in a day, as well as illogical use of pronouns, and that jumped out at me.
Why does that jump out at you?
Because it was very personal, what they were discussing of Gannon. And then when she's describing the possible that she would be responsible for hitting him in the head with a board or possibly murdering him, she takes Gannon out of the conversation.
Okay.
2 lawyers, 1 cup. I recognize that cup. Now, I don't know if today's the day, but it may be the day where we see 2 lawyers, 1 cup.
So basically depersonifying Gannon?
Correct.
Okay. This next phone call is the last one that we've admitted.
The lawyer was
It's,
late.
People's
He
Exhibit
just showed up.
59. It comes from February 21st, 1:44 p.m. It's 29 minutes long.
I said asparagus, Wolfie. I said it.
At this point, Judge,
immediately.
I'd like to go ahead and publish that. It was previously admitted during Mr. Stauch's testimony. And then when this particular phone call is done, we'll bring Mr. Grusing back up.
All right, Grusing, you can go ahead and step down.
Did he say
All right.
24 minutes?
You
or
bring your
29
sexy
minutes?
ass back up
24
here as
is
soon
fine.
as this call's over,
That'd be
Grusing.
better by 5 minutes.
He's just as lovely to watch leave, walk away from the stand as he is walking up to the stand. Oh my goodness. Hello, meat feeds. Hello, stranger. So this is the last call. And then we get to see Daddy Grusing up on that stand answering some damn important questions, okay?
Her attorney slept in. So
Hello?
Hey, Sprinkle Dog.
So, hey, you said there was an emergency that you need to talk about?
So already realize that Tisha texted. You could totally send me, hey, Wolfie. I thought the no part was covered, but I thought you said, I'm going to get Cheesecake Factory for you. But now you said no cheesecake. That's bullshit. I want a piece of cheesecake, please. Hi, Kate. So realize that Letecia sends Al the message, the text, hey, emergency. I need to talk to you, just to get him to call. Like this. And so let's listen. Is she really going to communicate to Al something important or not? Put your thoughts in the comments. Thanks, Homer, for the membership. Congratulations, Snackin' Not Crackin'. Please make sure you thank Homer if you got that.
Yes, are you okay? Because I sent you the message about stopping searching, and I said, "Are you ready to work together with me?" Yes, I sent that to you.
Okay, so
It's an emergency. Message me right now. Hey, so are you ready to work together and be a family? That is Leticia's definition of an emergency.
what is it?
Right,
What
bend
is
over.
it? I'm telling you. Oh my God, I don't know how to clear to say this. Do you believe me now that I didn't do anything
No.
wrong?
I mean, I'm just trying to get, you made it seem like there was some urgent news that you had to tell me, and this is,
To you, and I sent you the link you were talking about with the landfill. That was old.
oh, so there wasn't really anything urgent and pressing that would help me find Gannon.
I'm asking you, are you ready to work together with your wife to do it?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm going off your list. Number 1, Gannon. So let's focus on that.
Lisa, Unbroken Justice.
Okay.
So you read my list. Why are people sending this about lies about airports and all this? And
I don't know.
You can't have a
Exactly, Candace. Leticia's version of an emergency is getting back together with Al. She believed Al had authority over this case, being Gannon's biological father. But yes, also she wanted him to run back to her. She always played the victim. Al, unfortunately, always went along with it. And this time she can't understand why he isn't chasing her, why she isn't the victim. Psh. Wolfie, I don't know what you're saying right now. All I hear is, no, I'm not getting cheesecake.
Straight goal in common.
I don't know. I don't care about social media. Never have. Who cares what people are saying? I rode with my mom to the airport.
Oh, I get what you mean, Wolfie.
I told you I just stepped out of work on lunch break.
I get it now.
Like, as in the node?
No, as in the headquarters.
Okay. Are you gonna be like able to like stay with your wife so we can work on this together?
Oh my God.
I'm not making any promises.
I need to know like now, like starting tomorrow.
Well, you're not even here. If you're telling me starting tomorrow.
With the dogs. I can't fly the dogs.
Well, how did the dogs get to where you're at if they couldn't fly?
Good question.
I'm in a car with friends. That's all I've been doing. The dogs can't get on that airplane.
What friends?
The only thing I'm saying with a friend named Michelle, with different people, some adjacent people, Jade, that works with Harley. We stayed at their house.
Okay.
We've just been staying everywhere. The dogs cannot get on an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. But I want to get back to Gannon.
Hey, Melly Lynn.
Tell me you're going to work together with me.
That's not a problem.
Be together so we can burn down everything, figure this out, get a plan in place.
But why is the safety of a child contingent upon anything other than finding him?
I can't help you if we're not together.
Yes, you can.
I can't do any of that together. The safety of a child is together.
Kate, she's saying that she's staying with people who reached out to her on the internet regarding this case, and she's literally couch surfing people on the internet's houses. Okay, yeah, Kitty, your wife. Okay.
Because we have to write it down 10 freaking times and work through it. That's the safety. I beg for this.
But I still don't understand how you helping me with Gannon is contingent upon anything else.
Not contingent. I am your wife. Did you file for divorce? Did you?
I didn't hear what you said. What?
Did you file for divorce?
I told you that already. No. Do you want me to?
Okay. No. Are you cheating on me?
Am I cheating on you? No.
This is all she cared about. This is all she fucking cared about. Are you cheating on me? I don't think that that's where Al's mentality was when he essentially at this point had to come to terms with they're not searching for Gannon alive. It's more of a recovery at this point. They had to come to terms with his son is most likely no longer alive. But not only that, while dealing with the horrible, horrific manipulation and taunting games Letecia was doing over him. I highly doubt he was thinking about, let me fuck someone. But that is all Letecia cared about. And she essentially held information about his son's whereabouts over Al's head and would not cooperate unless he's literally fucking her. That's what she's trying to say.
But listen, we need to focus on Gannon, okay? You told me you had
some big plan.
No, it's not. Yeah, it is. You're right. It's a big plan to find my son. Absolutely. Okay, so listen to me. You made this, like you always do in these scenarios, you made it seem like we could fix this immediately. You got some big piece of information. Listen.
Listen to me and be open-minded in order to... And with that comes you taking my side in order for it to even be working, because if you go against me, you poke me, you be whatever, you try to do whatever, all these things, we can't get to what you need.
Okay, so that's what I wanted you to say, because you just told me that finding Gannon is contingent upon what you getting what you want. You said if I don't buck you or don't be with you and don't sleep with you. Yeah,
Say that.
that's what you said in essence, is that if I don't give you what you want, we don't find Gannon. So listen,
Yep, that's
but
exactly what he
hold
said.
on, listen.
Yeah,
I'm going back in now. I thought you had some emergency.
number one, okay? Are you going to
Stop, Wolfie.
If
Don't
listen, if you
name-
tell me information I need to know on Gannon, like who took Gannon or what happened to Gannon, then we talk about this other 7 parts of your list, okay? But number one is Gannon. Nothing happens for anybody in the rest of my life, period, until I get information about Gannon or find him. I thought you didn't have a car. Sounds like a car to me.
I told you I dropped these old vehicle, I borrowed from an old vehicle because I don't have a license.
All right.
Amy, she came clean about not being pregnant. Never. But it was, and you're going to hear a lot about that with Grusing on the stand. It was, I said, don't tempt me and tease me, Wolfie. It was when Letecia was arrested, March 2nd. She was brought into her interrogation with Grusing, which they're going to get into. They're going to play it for us. And it was during that interrogation that she turns around and tells Grusing, I'm pregnant and I have COVID. Okay. They bring her to the hospital immediately. And it is proven that she tries to claim that she was suffering a miscarriage. It was proven that you are not suffering a miscarriage, nor are you pregnant. And you also don't have COVID. New phone, who dis? So she never came clean. She claimed she had a miscarriage to try to get out of the interrogation when she was arrested. The same way that she kind of made the great escape from the hospital the last time. She thought maybe if I staged something again, I could ditch the hospital. It didn't work.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, you're one. I need you to tell me that you
Wait, are
have
you serious,
confidence and believe in me. Okay?
Number one on the list is Gannon, so. Okay, I believe in you and have confidence in you that you'll tell me the truth.
All right.
Well, she knew they would test her, but she's such an idiot. She thinks, well, if I say I had a miscarriage right now in an hour, when I come up that I'm not pregnant, that's because I could claim I have a miscarriage, even though no, your HCG levels was still, they'll be able to know, but that's Tisha for you.
Fine again. All right, so why come there hasn't been any kind of locations, searches, anything outside of only where I went? So that should be the most concerning thing to you. Is that the first thing that has to be done? Okay, so tell me why that's not happening.
Thank you.
That's a question we need to ask law enforcement, not me.
Why come?
But that's not something that you have even thought of to ask, because, I mean, you called me to ask about this landfill that was false that someone was messing around with your hand, being a dick, but this, your guy Mark's haven't asked him this several times.
I'm sure. Yes, I've asked them this. Why are you searching there? Well, we can't tell you anything.
Okay, so then, okay, next question.
Next question.
That I went, okay, was searched. Okay?
First of all, the closed caption came and pick up her. We can't even hear her. That's not me. That's literally just the quality of the phone calls. But don't forget about that secret door behind fucking Grusing. I'm not Grusing, Werner. Don't forget about that fucking secret door. I'm eyeing it now.
Acres upon acres upon acres when I didn't even go to those acres. How do we find it if none of those things, he was none of the places that I went?
No.
Does that not make you open up your eyes and say that I'm not involved, someone else is?
No.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Back to your first question. I believe in you, okay? But I believe you know that someone else involved and you know who. That's what I want. Okay. So, but then you keep sending me messages, emergency, we can fix this right now, but then you never tell me anything.
Number two, that's the second thing. We know
It's better than Wade sitting on your chest, Amy. If you know, you know.
that. All right.
They
Anything
should,
I haven't
Lisa.
done. All right, so why come when
Why
I gave them
come?
the information that I gave them? Why did they not look into it? Why did they not believe it? Why?
Because it was a bullshit lie. Because Quincy Brown isn't even in the country. Because when they went over and looked at all of the Ring doorbell camera, nobody is there but you. But wait until we get to the interrogation and you hear Tisha's reason why nobody else is seen in the Ring doorbell footage. Tisha has a great explanation.
What information about Quincy Brown?
Anywhere.
Are you talking about Quincy Brown? What information are you talking about?
No, I did not.
What information?
Okay. You just said they don't tell you anything, right? That's what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So, which means they would have gotten information from me.
Okay. So what information was it?
And that I told them they have not covered any areas except only the areas that I drove.
Okay, but what information are you talking about? Why won't you give me that information? I'm the father of the missing child, Tisha.
But I've already told you one time, and when I told you it wasn't good enough.
Well, tell me again. Tell me right now. I'm in believe Tisha mode.
Up, he's in believe Tisha mode.
Okay, how long do you have?
Like 5 to 7 minutes. Honestly, I gotta get back in.
5 to 7 minutes.
Well, what do you need? Tell me what you need.
She
An hour?
gets mad. She gets mad while he's at work. 5 to 7 minutes. I mean, we've been doing this for 5 to 7 hours. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. 5 to 7 hours. But now you expect me to sum this up in 5 to 7 minutes? She literally us.
5 to 7 minutes. Honestly, I gotta get back in.
5 to 7 minutes.
Well, what do you need? Tell me what you need. An hour? 10 minutes?
Are you on lunch? I mean, I'm not trying to mess you up at work.
No, I'm working like 4-hour days. So I mean, I come out because I told you I'd come out around this time. Okay, but I got another hour or some work, and then I'm leaving for the day. Because they're just trying, like I told you this morning, they're trying to phase me back in. So I don't want to be out here for 20, 30 minutes.
It is Emily.
Okay, so then what time can you sit down and talk with just you, not with you and all your other clan?
Right now.
So you got 30 minutes to give me right now.
Listen, I'll make up some bullshit when I go back in there. But yeah, I'll give you 30 minutes right now. Walk me through it.
Yeah.
I need you to answer this question. Why? How many of the videos, so it can all make sense to you, have you saw other than one video?
Listen, this is not Albert answers a bunch of questions. You tell me. No, you tell me what I'm missing or haven't seen. That's what this is about. This is not you.
Have you seen a video of anyone pulling into our yard after 4 o'clock?
Have I seen a video?
Did you see this?
Have I seen any video of that? I'm not sitting here answering questions, okay? I haven't seen other than what's been released. I haven't seen what's other than been released to the public. I'm not sitting here getting questioned. You said you had a story to tell me about this.
Didn't say I had a story.
Okay.
Helping you.
Okay, well, help me. Don't. Okay, I'm listening.
Did you see any other videos?
I'm listening. I'm not being questioned, okay? Tell me what I'm missing in the video. Just tell me. Don't ask me. Tell me.
In the video, when Harley comes home and Lena, I'm sure you had to see this. Just tell me where Harley parked her car.
I have no clue, Tisha. Tell me what you're trying to tell me. Now you get me upset.
You haven't seen this.
No, I have not seen anything. I told you that. I've seen what is on the internet on the video about the truck. That's it.
Okay. So can you wait by your phone for 5 minutes?
Drops it, Cat Mom.
You said 30 minutes, and just if you got something.
30 minutes. But I need you to wait by your phone for 5 minutes because I have this girl's kids in here.
Yeah, what?
Her kids are in her car. I drove to get some food. I have her kids in here. So I just need 5 minutes to pull up in the yard for the kids to get out.
There it is, Cat Mom.
what is that?
Judge Werner, he's counting the ceiling tiles again. Okay. But yes, Emily, yes, Albert. And I want you guys to remember this because when Grusing gets back on the stand and goes through the interrogation, Grusing literally says to Tisha, you want me to guess. I can't guess. And that is absolutely a reoccurring theme that we see from Tisha. Instead of giving, even though she eventually does give, but she tries to make you guess. And we even saw that back when she was giving the original sexual assault story, the first time she changed from Gannon was a runaway to the Bethel interview. When a special victims unit came in, right? And the officer who specifically asks about sexual assaults and that nature, she asked Tisha to walk her through what happened. And Tisha literally said, can you just ask me yes or no questions and I'll let you know yes if that happened. Does that make sense? Like, hey, so did he rape you? Yeah, that's because Tisha can't even think of the lies on her own. So she'd rather you kind of fill it in and she just goes with it. It's bizarre.
That keep you from sending a video.
It's not sending the video. I don't want to talk about it with kids around.
Oh yeah, she's in the car. That's right. That's right. She's in the car with anonymous, phantom children too. Because someone else on the internet that she's staying with while Gannon is missing and everyone knows she murdered him would absolutely let Tisha stay in her house and then also drive and escort her kids around.
They could hear me. I'm asking you for 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. Let me pull in the yard and they get out.
Hey, Rando.
Just tell me what you got to tell me. There's no kids in the car. I don't hear a peep, okay?
Now this is, and I'll stop pausing, but this is really funny if you listen to the original calls obtained by Allie and Bendy that we went through, because the quality is so much better and they're not snipped up. She has to then play it off like, no, she really is driving with kids. So you'll hear her pretend to say goodbye to the kids and act like they got out of the car, but you hear no door opening, no beep, beep, like that signifies that the door is open. No slamming of the door. So this is just Tisha just putting on a performance, but you could hear it really well in the original calls.
There is a kid in the car.
Might be Harley.
Listen, I knew either you tell me now or I'm just going to put the phone down and go back into work, okay? Because I don't got time to sit here. You jerk me around. I'm tired of you jerking me around.
Literally almost to the street.
Listen, I don't have 5 minutes. I got the 30 minutes you asked for. I got that. You start telling me whatever it is you got to tell me. Who cares if a kid's in the car? That should be a good thing that you know information that can help you find the missing kid. I'm sure they've heard about it.
I don't know if they did. They might have not have.
Well,
I'm turning on her street. Just hold on.
Yeah, okay.
I swear to you, I'm literally turning on her street.
I'm not questioning you. I'm in believe Tisha mode. I'm just waiting for some facts that I can believe.
Thank you, Pat Mom.
Turning on her street.
Okay, I believe you.
Like I'm passing the church right now.
What church?
And then I'm going on to this.
Nice.
The church. I guess their church. I don't know if they go to church there. I don't know.
Oh, you passed by it, but there's no sign? Okay, cool.
Yeah, there was a sign. I'm looking at the road so I can make sure it's the turn.
All right. Hey, I believe you.
I think that I know my way around.
I believe you. I'm not trying to question you. I just want to know if I knew the church or the pastor or anything.
Sorry, I'm literally turning in right now. All I gotta do is pull over here. Can you go inside with your mom and then I'll just...
See, listen to her. Can you go inside with your mom? Yeah, no, you didn't hear my blinker? I was turning on the street. Now listen to her say goodbye to the phantom children.
Pull over here. Can you go inside with your mom and then I'll just... Yeah, and I'll be in a minute to let the dogs out. Hold on. All right, give me 1 minute.
That might be Harley in the car.
Yeah, okay. You there? Tisha. Yep, I'm here.
Let's stay here.
We have
And
about
then I'll get the dogs and I get back and we just no. And then a weekend and try to get to work.
got about 10 to 12 minutes left. I'm not sure exactly how much, but roughly about 10 to 15 maybe.
Literally, opening the door, she's getting out.
This kid is the slowest person out of the car ever.
Make sure to do that stuff for your mom. All right. Where did you put mine at? Right there. Okay.
Do you hear anyone talking back? She's like ruffling the
bit.
Letecia. Vroom vroom.
Sorry, her daughter is like of age. Anyway, all right.
Did you hear
all that is telling you is?
Did you hear any car door shut? Did you hear anyone talking back to Tisha? This is how much she this is how far she goes, okay?
Her daughter is like of age. Anyway, all right. What all that is telling you is, I need you to believe Albert. I need you to believe that someone did take in. I need you to believe that I've already given the police department the description. I've already did that. I need you to quit thinking that it's somebody just made up, because it's not. Obviously, I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. There's no way possible that I could have been hours and hours away in a certain window.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to help them look at that. I'm telling you, Anna would have left our neighborhood anywhere between that time frame, and it wouldn't even be surprised if it weren't like the kid in North Carolina.
What certain window are you talking about?
The certain window I'm talking about, between 3 and anywhere that evening, because here's why. There was a lot of people out and about in the neighborhood. Everywhere.
So you weren't home during that certain window? Is that what you said?
Do what?
You said you weren't home during that certain window, or he could have left in that certain window?
I'm saying that's when it happened. So by the time I called, okay, Anna still could have been in the neighborhood.
Exactly, Lisa. Whoa. Was she not just talking about Al having sex with another woman and cheating on her when that child who is of age was in the car? But she can't talk about anything else when the kid's in the car. But are you fucking someone else? Yeah, that's fine, right?
But you said when it happened. What is it, Tisha?
I told you already. You haven't looked at it to see. Okay, go to the ring. See, we went out the front door. When we left, we went out the front door. Okay? When we left, I set the alarm. I went out the front door. I came back in the front door. Made sure the alarm was set. Went out the garage. You can see that on the ring. When I came out, I think it was like 10:07.
Yes.
10:08-ish, maybe. We left out. We were in the garage.
Okay.
There was no more, at that time, there was no more anybody going in and out. And the dogs do not set off the motion in the house.
Can I pet that dog?
They don't. Okay?
Not when they're in their crates. You're right.
Yeah, not within their crates. And as sure as heck, if I'm somewhere upstairs, they're with me. They're not just roaming around doing a thing. They're following somebody that they look. Okay? When we came back, I told you 15,000 times about the car following us at Petco. The reason I left the phone at Petco, you want to know why? Why don't y'all go check the alarm on it? I said
no. This is the craziest shit I've ever heard. Are you ready for this? And it never gets old. It never gets old. Listen to Tisha, because, okay, she claims she left the phone at Petco, and that is why she had to go back to Petco to retrieve the phone. But are you ready for your fucking pants to fly off with just how crazy this is. Listen to Tisha explain why what she did, okay? Just listen.
The phone at Petco, you want to know why? Why don't y'all go check the alarm on it? I set an alarm for it to go off if I hadn't came back in the time frame to call the police.
So Tisha, okay? Oh, and this is the best she came up with. You guys, she was desperate to have Al believe her, and this is the best she came up with. So Tisha, there was someone in the car with her and Gannon, and she was being essentially held hostage. And this person allowed her to go into Petco. Did she alert anybody? No. But you want to know what she did do? She left her phone. Ha ha! And she set a motherfucking alarm to go off 1 hour from now. Okay? She disabled snooze. She made sure this alarm has to be legit. So if she doesn't come back and retrieve that phone within an hour, a mysterious stranger is going to pick up that phone. They're going to see the alarm. And it's going to say to call the police. Call the police for who? They won't fucking know, right? Because it's just a random person's alarm that's going off. But this is the best Tisha came up with.
The reason I left the phone at Petco, you want to know why?
Really?
Why don't y'all go check the alarm on it? I set an alarm for it to go off if I hadn't came back in the time frame to call the police.
Hey, KPM. Look at Recovery Addict. Hold on. Look at Recovery Addict in the bottom left, okay? And watch his face process what Tisha is saying, okay? Look, let me move the closed captions. Look at this shit. Because he's never heard it. I could tell he's not that familiar with, like, Tisha at this time. They're listening to the trial. Look at him, okay? Watch him.
Check the alarm on it. I set an alarm for it to go off if I hadn't came back in the time frame to call the police. I set the alarm on there, Albert.
That is a perfect and accurate description of trying to understand Tisha. His mind, you watched it turn. You're watching it turn as he's trying to process what she just said. It's like, what the fuck? Exactly, sir. Exactly.
In the time frame to call the police. I set the alarm on there, Albert. There was no intention. I had my watch on, so it was no hiding where I was going or whatever.
But wait. So you set an alarm to call the police? Why?
No, not because someone was following us.
From the house or from Petco?
From the house.
Okay.
To Petco.
Okay.
Then from Petco, that's why I kept walking to the door to look.
Will be.
Because Gannon was laying down. He was playing the switch. So I knew that they knew nobody was in the car. That's what they thought. Mm-hmm. Maybe I was being over suspicious.
Well, so help me out here. Because I'm in believe teacher mode. So, okay. Just so you know that. But somebody's following you from the house and you leave Gannon in the truck?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They never knew anybody was in the truck.
How do you... She's like, shit, this makes me look bad. They never knew. How the fuck do you know what they knew? These random people who are following you all the way from your house. Never mind. I guess they never saw Gannon get into the fucking car. But now, oh no, they didn't know he was in there. How the fuck do you know? Tisha, all you have to do is put in enough effort to think this out. Think it thoroughly. And she can't.
But somebody's following you from the house and you leave Gannon in the truck?
They never knew anybody was in the truck.
But if they followed you from the house, didn't they see y'all get into the truck?
I was not like from the house as in our house, like as in not the area that.
All right. Well,
Oh,
okay.
Okay. So now they followed me from the house. So they followed you from the house and they didn't see Gannon get in? Not our house, Albert. The house, in the neighborhood. Okay, Tisha. Okay.
I was not like from the house as in our house, like as in not the area that.
All right. Well, okay. All right. Help me be in belief teacher mode. Okay. All right. Don't start spinning. Just tell me.
I'm spinning.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to.
You're spinning,
Go
girl.
through the whole entire thing.
Okay. I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I sit there. I was playing with these period pad things because apparently dogs have periods.
So even after being followed, enough to where I gotta set my alarm for 911. I'm gonna go play with these period doggy pads because apparently dogs get their period. First of all, if you're a fucking dog owner and you don't know that, shame on you. Number two, why weren't you concerned? Why were you playing with doggy menstrual pads?
With these period pad things because apparently dogs have periods. Okay. So I'm holding the thing and I sat there and I said alarm just for the alarm to go off. Like whatever. That was for the alarm to go off. Maybe I was being too superstitious. I just was being whatever. I don't know. Okay.
That's don't step on a cracker. You're gonna break your mama's back. What the fuck does that have to do with the alarm, Tisha?
I just was being whatever. I don't know.
Okay. Of course, Shakta.
Sorry.
And now you're yawning?
Listen, I don't sleep good at night.
Long,
I haven't for years. You know that. So go ahead.
Albert, I was supposed to deliver papers.
Deliver.
So I couldn't do it, Albert.
Deliver papers for what? Tisha?
When I went to Nevada, there was this pregnant lady.
Oh God.
So I agreed to help the pregnant lady because she was really, really pregnant. She gets in the car, which is why Ganna was not in the front seat. He was in the back seat.
You said wait, you said when you went to Nevada?
Went through Nevada.
Oh. I'm like, what? You're in Nevada? Anyways, go ahead.
Right. When I realized she's not pregnant. Once she gets in the car.
Look at Werner.
Was this the same lady that was following you?
I don't know if they were following us. I just know there was a car following us. When I get off.
Oh, what? Wait, what? What? I don't know if they were following us. I just know that there was a car following us. Yo, Tisha, please. Okay, if you haven't followed this for a very long time with us, this was in an article. And it is based on a true story. So what Letecia did was she was looking up kind of organized crime, things in the area, and then created her lies based on that.
Was this the same lady that was following you?
I don't know if they were following us. I just know there was a car following us. When I get off, I turn where Harley gets the eyelashes done because I thought I would lose them. Then I saw a pregnant lady. She looked legit like 8 months pregnant.
What kind of car was following you?
Thank you, Lena. Do y'all think in her mind she truly thought she was getting away with this? Like, yeah, this is a great story and he will believe me. It's a great question, Lena, and it's something that I constantly toggle back and forth between. There's absolutely no way she thought that this was going to work. And then the other half of me where there are moments that she truly believes and acts like this is going to work. And what I think is both. I think she managed to get away. Now that we have the context of how Tisha was in the past, she managed to get away with this all of the time. Not murder, but these extreme versions of lies. Breaking in, sexual assault, rape, guns, this, that. And Al always stuck around. And I think that went before Al. She clearly always managed to get away, even when that would be a massive red flag, right? Look at us looking at the situation. How the fuck did Al stick around? Like, these are massive red flags. But Tisha always managed to get away with it. So, yes, I think part of Letecia thought she could get her way out of this because she always did. But then the other half, I think there are times where she knew she was fucked. So I think part of her felt like there was a chance she could, because she has, and the other half understood, I fucked up real bad this time. So I think both are true, if that makes sense.
Thought I would lose them. Then I saw a pregnant lady. She looked legit like 8 months pregnant.
What kind of car was following you? Because maybe they.
He told you this 15 times.
Oh, okay.
It was a blue something, like a blue little car, like a Cooper or something like this.
Okay, so like a blue, not red, right? Just a blue one.
No, it was the red earlier in the day was nothing. It's already been checked out.
Okay, all right.
The reason I know that one's been checked out is because I had somebody in Lorson Ranch do it.
All right, I was just making sure. I make sure I keep these cars straight. So there's the blue one, not the red one.
See,
No, don't get upset. Don't get upset. I'm just trying to get it straight. I'm not picking holes in your story. I'm just making sure we're on the blue car. Okay. So now back to the pregnant lady that gets in the front seat.
So the pregnant lady gets in the front seat, but she's not really pregnant. I don't know that she's not really pregnant, but she says she just needs a ride.
Look at Recovery Addict.
I feel bad.
Look at him. Look at him. Bottom left. Please just every once in a while take a look at him because it's cracking me up.
See, but she's not really pregnant. I don't know that she's not really pregnant, but she says she just needs a ride.
I love being able to see someone's expression, hearing it for the first time. He's never heard it before. So look at him. Oh my God.
I don't know that she's not really pregnant, but she says she just needs a ride. I felt bad. She looked really, really pregnant, like 8 months.
I said, I'm just listening.
Oh, man.
You know what? I'm not going to help if you're going to do this to me.
Listening and believing?
I really, really came in this to be honest with you.
Okay, and I'm just listening.
No, you aren't. You're being a dick by saying, That's being a dick to me.
I don't know why you're saying that, but does the pregnant lady know what happened to G? Does she know where Gannon went?
Can I finish?
Yeah, absolutely.
She wasn't really pregnant. She had about, I don't even know how much money inside of this thing that makes her look pregnant. So you know where my mind immediately goes?
Where?
What would you think a pregnant person disguising as pregnant but money in her belly means?
Probably robbed a bank.
Okay, she might have.
Or I am.
She could be involved in something crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I would be scared of myself, even if it was a woman.
Yeah, because that's pretty scary, right? You're making fun of.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, right? And you're over here making fun of me, Albert, Eugene, and this is terrifying, isn't it? She thought this one was gonna work because it was based on an actual article that was posted. Okay. Oh, Tisha.
Something crazy, right?
Yeah. I would be scared of myself, even if it was a woman.
Yeah. Because that's pretty scary, right? You're making fun of this like it's...
No, I'm not. If somebody got in my truck with a pregnant belly full of cash, I'd be worried to death. You're right.
Yep, Jenny. Look at recovery addict.
I don't know.
Bingo.
I don't know how else to help other than to know we were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay. Are you talking about Petco?
Yes, because Petco, I just was supposed to walk in Petco, look around, be normal, go drop this lady off somewhere.
Oh, so she told you to walk into Petco?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She forced me.
Of course, I got you.
She
Okay.
forced you.
Yeah.
Did she have a weapon, like a gun or a knife or something that like to threaten you or what?
How do you think someone would force you? You're sensitive.
No, you're a tough girl, so I'm just gonna take a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if somebody,
Tough girl.
yeah. I don't think you'd be scared easy by somebody like that. So that's just what I'm saying. You probably start swinging unless she had a gun or a knife or something.
This is a joke to you.
No, I'm serious. I'm trying to.
You finally are getting like legit, and it's a joke to you.
I'm sorry you think that, but go ahead.
I'm not. Forget it, man. You're not wanting to stand by my side. You don't want to help.
I'm right here standing by your side, listening to the truth. Okay, I'm in believe teacher mode, like I told you.
Yeah, and then what you're gonna do? Tell me I'm telling a lie and hang up?
Are you telling a lie?
No, that's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna believe it. I told you it was beyond your wildest imagination to know he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He was in the wrong place, or y'all were in the wrong place? Okay, we was in the wrong place. Okay, all right. I mean, are you telling me this? I don't know. You want me to believe you, but I feel like you're just telling me something to make me feel better about Gannon missing. Okay, so because it was kind of like the Quincy Brown thing. I mean, now it's a pregnant lady with cash in her belly. Okay, I believe you. What's next? What happened next?
Now you're making silly.
No, I'm trying to make sense of all of it. Okay, you want me to believe you? I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Tell me the rest of the story.
Albert, to sum it up, it's just being caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time with people who are money laundering, wanting me or whoever they can get to deliver paper to these Mexican restaurants, and you're supposed to get packages back from them. And I wouldn't do it. So that's why we were on County Line Road, because I was scared to death. I left. So I was going round and round and round to make sure that no car followed me.
So is that where they were trying to send you, or you just went there because you knew that was out in the boonies?
No, because 25, I got on Interstate 25 and it was backed up.
Oh, so you did like we did that one time and took a detour?
With nothing to do with whatever. They've already searched the entire area. I'm innocent.
Okay, Tisha.
That's who has Gannon, okay?
The pregnant lady with the cash?
No, whoever has proof, because I've already given it to the Mexican guy. Why do you think I told you that about the Quincy thing? Because the whole Mexico. We need to be looking at any routes going into Mexico, and I've been telling you this.
No, but okay, all right. I'm out of believe Tisha mode now, okay, because you told me Quincy Brown was in Colorado Springs. His family told your news reporter that he's in Mexico, okay? You didn't know that beforehand. And of course, you have nothing to say about that. I'll talk to you later.
Oh. And that is the last of the calls. Look at recovery addict. Look at that smirk. Oh, like I love that we were able to see his facial expression hearing it for the first time, because we're so used to it, you know, but to be able to see someone's genuine reaction, that was really good, man.
One time I don't
Here's
want to call to
Petunia.
end. Oh my goodness, that was good.
Grusing, if you would, I assume that's who you want, right?
Yes.
Mr. Grusing, if you would resume your seat in the witness stand and
Get
remind you,
back
sir,
up
that you're
here,
still under
Daddy.
oath.
I don't know how you become cash pregnant, but that lady
Grandma?
did it.
Thank you, Art. Mr. Grusing, we talked about just prior to you, us actually listening to that last phone call about Letecia being very focused on herself as opposed to finding Gannon. Did there seem to be a focus on, from her standpoint, on making sure she was going to stay with Al?
Yes.
What's the significance of that in your mind as an investigator?
She wanted finding Gannon to be contingent upon Al coming back into the marriage with her.
Mm-hmm.
Was it fairly consistent that she would precondition giving information on at Mr. Stauch promising to stay with her?
Yes,
Did that help with your building pattern of behavior
Lisa.
Preparing for her interview?
it did.
Does that also give her a way to calculate the flow of information that law enforcement got?
She was, yes.
In what way?
I word you. No
and
point.
Al was doing a
have
good
mercy
job of
people.
deflecting questions. She was probing for what he knew, what he had seen. And as Al and our team knew from now, whatever facts we would give her would shift her story to meet those.
Exactly. She was fishing for information by saying, did you see this video? Where was Harley's car parked? Did you see anyone? She's trying to gauge what Al, aka the investigation, knows at that point, and she will develop her stories accordingly.
Along those lines, was it clear based on these phone calls that she was very closely following the advancement of the investigation?
Yes.
And would she appear to, from your perspective, use the information that she would get from following the investigation and then explain away things that might be found in different areas?
She would. And because it was only her and Gannon together, it's only her story that mattered.
Did that appear to be an effort to manipulate the investigation?
Yes,
Is that a calculated move on her part?
It
was.
snotty hand. I know KPM.
There was that one section in that last phone call where she is expressing concern with areas of searches. Is that showing that indication that she's following the investigation from afar?
yes, you're right.
Was she still at this particular point trying to imply that she was in the Colorado Springs area?
Yes.
Did you know specifically where she was at this particular time?
Yes, we knew she was in South Carolina.
Talking about her efforts to manipulate the investigation, did she point throughout all of these phone calls at random unknown persons?
It's hard to say random. It seemed to be somewhat calculated.
Random from your perspective as an investigator, calculated from her perspective. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
Okay. So we have Edward.
Sydney, by the way, just to let you know, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record that live stream for you, and I'll send you a link. Okay, I didn't forget.
Bardo, right?
Right.
The information that she gave about identifying Eduardo, so any identifying features, do you remember that right now?
I don't.
Okay. If it was basically a 5'8", thinner Hispanic male with pockmarked face, is that a very detailed or not very detailed description of somebody?
Not if you have extensive interaction with him, which she told us in her story that she did. That was prior to me coming on, so I was reviewing that information.
Okay. And then changing it later to say, well, maybe he was actually a black guy, like a Puerto Rican.
Correct.
And then developing into Quincy Brown.
I believe next she went to Uncle Matt.
I was going to get to Uncle Matt here in just a second. Do you remember as it develops into the Quincy Brown story?
I do.
Did that coincide with the same time that Most Wanted release was issued for Quincy Brown in Colorado Springs media?
Yes.
Yep. She is John Doe, yeah.
And then you mentioned Uncle Matt. Did she give any identifying features for an Uncle Matt?
She did not. She laid the blame for Uncle Matt at Gannon, saying this was Gannon had been talking about Uncle Matt prior to Gannon's disappearance, and then Gannon was jumping on Uncle Matt, and then Gannon disappeared because of Uncle Matt.
I'll talk to you about it in Patreon.
There's that one portion of time where she's at least relaying the idea that she's driving in a car with some other kid.
Which one?
In this last phone call that we just listened to?
Yes.
Could you hear any noises from that side of the phone call that indicated a kid was in the car?
We could not.
Did you hear any doors open or close like she was indicating she just dropped a kid off?
No.
There's also reference by her about driving past a church. You remember that portion?
Yes.
And Al actually presses her and says, what's the name of the church?
Correct.
I didn't hear, did she give a name of that church?
Couldn't hear her give a name. At least I didn't.
No, Candace, she has not.
There was an interesting quote that she made in that particular call, and it was, I need you to believe someone took Gannon. What's the significance of that type of a statement from the defendant?
Well, she was, again, the last one with him, and she's now tried 4 or 5 someones, and now she's not giving us an identification of this pregnant lady. We were not scripting Al to yawn or do those things during this one, but it was obvious that this was not going to lead us anywhere closer to Gannon. So with her not giving us a name or anything to follow up on.
Just know if you join Patreon, I do talk about a lot of stuff conspiratorial over there. So, just keep that in mind if it's not up your alley.
We were fine with Al just reacting naturally to this news story.
Okay. The leading up to the pregnant lady with some sort of a money pregnancy thing, was there any indication that somebody followed her from the home area, Lorson Ranch, to Petco?
There was not.
Were you aware that she actually made 2 Petco visits on January 27th that were basically 2 hours apart on that day?
Yes.
Was there any indication through the investigation that someone was forcing her to go into Petco?
There was not.
Exactly, Natasha.
As it relates to this pregnant lady with the money thing, did she ever give any detailed information about description of this pregnant lady with money coming out of her belly?
No.
She mentioned money laundering in Mexican restaurants. Curious your thoughts on that angle of it, that there's a description of Eduardo being a slim Hispanic guy. Then she changes it to a black guy or a Mexican guy, and now we're back to Mexican money laundering plans. Thoughts on that from your perspective as an investigator?
Well, she goes back and forth whether it's someone involved in the criminal element must be responsible for someone like this, or Gannon is responsible through accidents. So she's ascribing criminal behavior to most of these people that would have inflicted injuries on him or taken him.
Okay.
I'd love to, if you guys
as it relates to blaming others, does she consistently almost try to shift blame onto Gannon?
She does.
In what ways?
It's accidental. She did it at the very first by saying he just ran away. But then throughout, she will say that he was involved in an accident, or he stepped on something, or he hit his head, or he busted his lip.
And that is absolutely very true. Reoccurring theme with Letecia is throughout all of the stories, what stays consistent is she pushes blame onto Gannon, whether it's intentional or unintentional.
Those sorts of injuries that he's causing to himself.
As it relates to those descriptions of various injuries, does that also include the bleeding from the rectum?
Yes.
Okay. In those descriptions,
Exactly,
was she also giving information that
Yep,
only somebody with knowledge of those injuries would have, the actual injuries that Gannon suffered?
Correct.
Was that significant to you at all?
It was, and I believe it was on the 13th, the very first phone call we had. It's the first time that she mentioned Quincy Brown, or the most egregious injuries she ascribed to him, and that was the bleeding from the head, the hands, and the knees, and then blood pouring from his face. So she was describing, things, and as we were going, we were trying to how can we use that to help find Gannon? But then she would shift later and say, whether it was the burns or the face, that those injuries were not as significant. So we were just back and forth. But throughout, if you look at the whole picture of these 10, 12 calls, she was describing a significant amount of injuries to him.
Oh, that's so awesome, Alvin. She's cousin it all the way. Samara about to literally emerge from the well. Like, if her fucking feet start coming above her head, we're gonna have an issue here.
As we listen to all of these calls, and I think we've actually admitted 16 separate phone calls into evidence in this case, were there actually even more than that were conducted that were not admitted in this trial?
Yes, I believe so.
How did you use the information that you gathered in those particular phone calls that you participated in? How are you using that to build the pattern of behavior for this specific defendant?
Well, our primary goal was to find Gannon at this point in the investigation. And information was coming in daily. We had a whole timeline across their break conference room that we would add new data to each day. So even with the story about the pregnant lady and the blue car and whatever else we're trying to compare, it will something new give us a clue to where Gannon is. And then secondly, we're looking at building a case against Letecia and working towards an arrest and an interview.
Okay. So let's jump into that. When was the defendant ultimately arrested?
March 2nd, 2020.
What were circumstances that led to that arrest as it relates to your involvement?
So the sheriff's office and the FBI agents that were assigned the case in Colorado Springs had drafted an affidavit that a judge had signed off on. And our team had been communicating with law enforcement in South Carolina to arrange an arrest and possible interview of her if she was willing to afterwards.
Did you in fact travel from Colorado to South Carolina to be participating in that?
Yes.
Was that on March 2nd exactly?
Yes, it was.
Describe for the jury, how were you there when she was taken into custody?
I was.
Describe that for the jury.
I was on the very periphery, wasn't close, but it was in a mall parking lot, I believe, and local law enforcement did the arrest. I did come up and introduce myself to Letecia and told her I was with the FBI in Denver and I would like to speak with her, that we were going to take her to a law enforcement facility.
Did you in fact then have her transported to that law enforcement facility?
Yes.
Was that at the Myrtle Beach Police Department?
It was.
Did you interview her there?
Yes.
May I approach?
Wolfie sent me a literal piece of fucking cheesecake to my door. Tell me I'm not spoiled. Like, thank you, Wolfie. I'm so excited. Hi, Nut Marshmallows. The setup walls on Dr. T to travel all the way to Florida while active search was going on. Like, she wouldn't be missed. She knows. I know, that's a true fucking friend, right? I popped that shit in the freezer because I like that shit hard. That sounded wrong. I meant like stiff. Oh no, I'm making this worse. I like my cheesecake really cold. Well, I'm just gonna keep playing that because that was really awkward.
Police Department?
It was.
Did you interview her there?
RL?
Yes.
May I approach with People's Exhibit 354?
Soda Suede. Oh my god, man. Dude. He sent me the
I do.
one that has the strawberries on top. Thank you, Wolfie.
How do you recognize it?
That's the DVD of the recording of the interview I had with Letecia. I have initialed it and dated it.
Is it a fair and accurate copy of that interview that you conducted on March 2nd?
No, sir.
Yes.
At this time, I move for admission of People's Exhibit 354.
Yes.
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit
course you don't.
354 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Do you know roughly how long
Thank
this
you.
particular interview is?
Approximately 5 hours.
5 hours.
And let's go over, is there an initial phase of an interview where
No,
you
I don't like chocolate.
maybe are building rapport with somebody?
Yes, letting whoever I'm speaking to understand the purpose of the interview, explaining why I am there. And then because Letecia was not free to leave, I advised her of her rights pursuant to
Got me
Miranda.
mushrooms.
Is it typical to do the advisement of rights under Miranda when somebody's in custody?
Wolfie.
Yes,
What's the purpose of that?
to let her know that she doesn't have to talk to me if she doesn't want to. She can have an attorney present and she's free to leave at any time.
Is this something that you just talked to somebody about? Or is there a form that you?
There's a form that I go through.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you actually
Now Tisha's an idiot. Yeah, I'm not big on like sweet. You know, I've started to like sweets a little bit more with age. But like very few, you know, like, and one of them is Cheesecake Factory. Either original cheesecake or the original with the strawberries on top. They're the Cheesecake Factory mushroom. Like, dude, everyone needs a Wolfie, okay? They're the Cheesecake Factory mushrooms, and so they're like mushrooms with like toasted breadcrumbs on top in like, I don't know, a fucking delicious sauce. So yeah, it has to be New York style, Emily. And so I only like either plain cheesecake or this is plain cheesecake just with like strawberries on top. Dude, Candace, Cheesecake Factory is, the mushrooms are good. It's on the appetizer menu. I don't know what it is. It's fucking delicious. You did? It's a Madeira sauce. ATS News, do you know what the fucking can you give us the recipe for the fucking? And I also love their spicy rigatoni penne out, like, well, no, it's rigatoni alla vodka. It's like a kicked up penne. Like, oh man. If anyone needs my address for food delivery purposes, hit me up. Dude, all I said is I want a piece of cheesecake and Wolfie delivered it. So thank you, Wolfie. They're not fried. You know, I'll take a picture and I'll show you guys.
actually have them sign the form?
Yes,
Did you do that with this defendant?
I did.
Do you know what name she used to sign that form?
I don't remember. I'm
It's gonna
guessing
look
it's
bad
Letecia
when they're in
Stauch.
the
Does it say
container, though.
Tisha Stauch on it?
That sounds right.
Okay. Did she indicate that she understood her rights?
She did.
Did she even go further than that in trying to put conditions on a specific right as it relates to attorney?
Yes,
Okay. Did that indicate that to you from your perspective that she appeared to understand those rights and could contemplate them and potentially even try to put additional conditions on them?
correct.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to start publishing, and what I intend to do with People's Exhibit 354 is just keep Mr. Grusing on the stand, play portions based on questions that I'm asking. Obviously, the whole interview is in evidence, Judge.
All right.
So we're about to go into the interrogation, but real quick, hold on. Those are the mushrooms. It's not going to look good, though. It's not going to look good in a container. You know, if it was like on a pretty white dish, it'll look good, you know, but they taste delicious. Okay, so they're not fried, they're stuffed with like breadcrumbs and other deliciousness in like this pinkish sauce. Okay, so just saying. Now we're about to get into the 5-hour interview. No, it's not ew. And you sent them. It's not ew. It doesn't matter how they look. They're delicious. They're so good, Emily. They're so good. And no, I'm not taking the cheesecake out until it's hard, remember? So she's arrested March 2nd. And she hasn't had any interaction with Grusing at this point, but Grusing has been listening to the pretext calls, keep in mind. I'm a criminal justice student and I've been studying this with you hardcore, but never have I ever encountered an evil like this Lego head. DSM-5 doesn't even have a name for what she is. That's so interesting, Courtney, and I'd love to hear your feedback with that type of stuff, because I really haven't seen many, like I say it all the time, but I really haven't seen many cases and situations like Letecia, but she was diagnosed, and you'll hear with the doctors that come up, the closest is borderline personality disorder with narcissistic tendencies. Based on what I can read, in my uneducated opinion, it seems like, yeah, that the symptoms and the characteristics, the traits, do work well with what we see Letecia exhibit. But I think it comes down to being a piece of shit too. I think today's society and the world we live in today help mold the piece of shit, and not, this is what's going to happen. And when I say that loosely, I'm not saying a bunch of murderers like Letecia are going to come about, but we're living in a society where we're not holding people accountable. Everybody gets a fucking trophy. You get this. It's a fight for who's the most oppressed, who's the biggest victim. And I think it absolutely contributes to this type of mentality. And then mixed with the wrong things, you'll have a Letecia. Thank you, Sydney. Sydney gifted a membership. Scott, oh my God, I said a membership. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I got that Wade shit in my call. Oh my God, I can't even speak. I got that Wade stuff in my head from the calls. Oh my goodness. She gifted a membership. Scott got it. Please thank Sydney. Don't mind me. It's a long day. Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
Back in college, Lena, I took a couple of courses, like for the behavioral psychology, sociology, but honestly, I was too young to focus enough on it. And I wish, I want to go back to college so bad and do something with criminal justice, but I feel too old to do it. But I was too young to really pay attention the way I would pay attention now if I went back to college, if that makes sense.
Just play portions. That's the part that's important.
Yes, Courtney.
I'm going to try to get a close up on the video here.
Yeah, dancing horse. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be awful if that's our sound.
Yeah, it is going to be awful. So Letecia would have been freshly arrested and charged. I feel too old, Harlot, but I really would love to go back.
It's got audio sound proofing on the walls. This should be good.
I feel like I'd be like Drew Barrymore and Never Been Kissed, and I feel like I'd be so outdated, and I'd be going dressed in old fashioned, I don't know if any of you guys, anyone who has a kid, they make sure to remind you how old you are. And my child is always reminding me that I'm not ew, why'd you say that? And I'm I don't know, why'd I say that? Is that not appropriate? No. So I don't feel like I can go back.
Pull that chair back a little bit.
Did you, Sydney? That's awesome, Julie.
We are going to record this.
And Judge, I'm wondering if we can check with the jurors to see, this one's a little quieter than the other recorded phone calls, if they can hear this okay.
The other thing is, it sounds as though your plan is to play part of this and then stop it and ask questions during part of it.
That's right. Yeah, I'll do this throughout, Judge.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just stumbling over my words, honestly.
For the purpose of the record to remain clear, you just need to identify the timestamp where you're stopping.
Yeah, I will. Yep.
And if you don't recognize that outfit, that's the outfit that Letecia takes a stop, drop, and roll in.
About as loud as I can make it.
Okay. Let's see.
They do, Maria. They do.
Can you all hear it okay?
It's recorded on a potato.
So Letecia and John Grusing with the FBI met you in the mall parking lot. Do you know why you're here? Did they inform you, the officers, of why you're under arrest?
I'm under arrest.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm under arrest bitch is acting like she didn't just get fucking arrested while dropping outside of Harley's fucking whatever that she was at with a bunch of police officers, and they made it very fucking clear you were arrested when your hands are put behind your back into handcuffs and taken down. So yeah, you're arrested.
For Letecia Stauch. A warrant was issued out of Colorado.
Okay, but no, someone could have just called me. A big thing I would.
Someone just could have called me and I would have come down on my own. You guys didn't need to come and actually like arrest me. Yes, she did just say that. As if they're gonna trust Tisha. Bring, bring. Yo, hey, so you're arrested. If you could just hop in your car and just drive over here, that would be great. Do you really think that that's how it's gonna go, Tisha? You think they're gonna give you enough room when you are being charged for murder? I don't think so, hon.
Someone could have just called me. A big thing I would.
Yeah, and apologize for that. Because of the nature of the warrant, it being a murder warrant, there's, and that's what I'd like to talk with you about today. That's why we're not having a cast of thousands here and whatever. We would like to get to the bottom of what happened there.
Awesome.
I know that a lot of things have gone on with your life, a little bit of how this turns out. Okay, but because you were arrested, you're not free to leave. I need you to sign an advice of rights before we can talk.
Well, I mean, so I'm getting charged with what now?
So you were charged in the judge in Colorado Springs signed off. So the way this case worked was El Paso County got the original case. They didn't have enough manpower to work it.
Okay.
So they called the FBI.
Right.
Part of for the FBI, an extension of the profiling unit, and I came in and assisted. And I've been helping for about the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
So our evidence response team, you've probably seen that on the news, we've been doing some searches, et cetera. And then other FBI agents have been writing warrants.
Okay.
So a lot of warrants have been written. We've gone through the court. El Paso Sheriff's Office and FBI have worked together. And we found enough, you call it probable cause,
Hey.
for a warrant to be issued. So that's why
You
you're
too,
here today.
MK. MK, you better be here tomorrow for ATS News's baby shower.
What no?
It was for the murder.
It's a requirement.
So Gannon is murdered.
That's what the evidence shows.
Okay.
And I'm happy to share with you evidence, but we can't have a conversation unless you're advised of your rights.
Okay, what am I right?
So this is an advice of rights form. I'll fill it out at the top. And you don't have to answer any question.
Oh, I am.
Okay, so I'm not going to force you to answer anything. If you want this
She said,
interview to be
I
done,
am.
it's done. So we are in South Carolina.
It's 9:45, 8:45 for you.
Okay.
That's about all I can do for the audio, guys. I've tweaked it as much as I can to take that squeal off. Let me know if it works for you.
So I'd like you to initial these as we go through them. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions.
Yeah, she didn't
You have
do
the right to
that.
have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before questioning if you wish. And if you decide to answer questions without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering at any time. I'm not going to force you to say anything.
Okay, so I had already had reached an attorney, but all the information.
So it's up to you. I'm not going to force you to say.
I mean,
if you don't
I
want to,
can talk to you, but I mean, the last time I asked for an attorney talking to them, I wasn't allowed that after I asked.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. She's referring to the Bethel interview, and she did not need to be there. She was told that she had every right to have a lawyer. She wanted to talk, and then only after her phone was taken with via warrant did she turn around and say she wanted to call a lawyer. At that point, all communication ceased to stop. Bethel wouldn't even talk to her anymore while they waited for EMS to arrive because she was having a fake heart attack.
That's not how this is going to go. This would be a
You have more
conversation.
integrity being FBI that you would do that.
I've got a family to protect,
Okay.
so I'm not going to
She says, I think you as the FBI, sir, would have more integrity than to do that. So like a fucking moron. Here, circling back around to that question earlier, did Letecia really think she could get out of this? Here she is, and she genuinely believed there was a chance she could talk herself out of these murder charges.
You don't mind doing that at all. But at any point, I would like to call my attorney if
Yes,
I felt
ma'am.
like, is that okay?
That is okay.
Okay, so can I write that in somewhere or?
Well, that's this one right
Write
here.
that in somewhere.
If you decide to answer any questions from a lawyer present, you have the right to stop at any time.
Look at Delaney. Like, girl, you should have stopped right then and there and asked for a fucking lawyer.
And if you need food, water, whatever else, this is not, we're not going to have people with guns standing outside trying to intimidate you. I want this to be your statements in our conversation.
She's glancing up periodically, but pretty much keeping her head down. I'm gonna zoom in on the video of the interrogation, unless you guys want to watch Letecia close up. We've got 5 hours, so I want to watch anything we can see out of that. We will have breaks. They will stop for questions as well.
I was thinking of a lot of things to say to you today because I've been helping, I've been involved. I've unfortunately worked a lot of missing kids cases. That's why they called me to do this.
Okay.
A lot of time with Mark, who was the dad. Dylan, who actually was in Colorado Springs with Mom. Went to go see Dad. This was in November of 2012. And then he disappeared. It's a lot like what happened here.
You, Tasha.
What I think happened with Mark is friends, and Mark wouldn't let him go.
Okay.
And I think Mark got upset. I think Dylan did some things that irritated Mark. I think there was just a punch in the face sort of thing. And things went downhill from there.
Well,
and I'm not saying
I
that's
just
what
want to
happened
say
with
to you,
you.
I can help you because what you're charging me with is not, or whoever, is not the case. Gannon is alive, okay, and I can help you.
Okay, great.
But see, here's the problem. When I reached out to people about getting help, I said, hey, I need someone who's going to help me to help you guys. I couldn't get that from anyone at all.
We're happy to help you.
Okay. So I understand you might say you have like whatever evidence that you might say you have, but that's not a case. It did not hurt my child. Okay. Need more assistance besides FBI. You're probably going to need some DEA, probably need a lot of help.
I'm happy to get whatever help.
Okay.
How do you know?
But I can't help you unless people are willing to help me. And I did offer every opportunity to sit down and talk with not only.
We're having a Cuba Gooding Jr. moment. Help me, help you, sir. See, you have charged me for the murder of Gannon. I can help you with that. But in order for me to help you, sir, you need to help me.
Only my husband, but with Landon to try to come up with the best plan to do it.
Yes, she is, Candace.
And I've been begging every single day, please, please, please don't say this. Okay. You, I know you're expert in your field, okay? I know you may say you have whatever evidence you have, but it's just not true, okay? Not.
It's not true that Gannon's dead.
I'm not going to sit here and say 100%. I can tell you that there's really things that wouldn't have occurred that I can help you guys with to know that. And it leads back to some things just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the truth.
Okay.
That is the very truth. And every day that went by, I had to do nothing but not only protect myself, but protect my family in this, protect other people in this. And that's just what it's in.
You too, Shane.
I think our biggest problem is what happened at the house then.
At the house?
Yes.
Well, there's nothing that would have happened at the house that has anything to do.
Oh my God, I hate that this is such shitty quality because we have the very good quality interrogation tape, but I would switch it over to that, but we have Grusing up on the stand. So I know they're going to pause it soon to ask questions. So I won't know when would be the appropriate time to pause and flip back, if that makes sense. But pay attention to her body language as she's saying that nothing happened in the house. She's actually shaking her head left to right, meaning that she's telling an untruth. She's telling a lie. Don't believe what she's saying.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing that would have happened at the house that has anything to do with what I'm talking about at all.
See?
That
Shake
has
your head
nothing to do
no.
with anything. Because you guys have like clearly put out this information about him not coming home and then this and that and the other. And I get, like I said, you're expert.
Exactly, Shane.
But it's just not the truth. It's not the truth. And until I know that I got to get help from some people other than someone just having me in a room.
You've got to get help to do that.
I got to get help to give everyone what they need, because I'm going to need my mom protected. Okay, I'm going to need my brother and sister protected. And most importantly, I'm going to need Harley protected. And on that same note, I'm also going to need other people in Colorado protected. And see, people say FBI can offer that protection.
You can.
How?
If it involves an 11-year-old, if it involves finding an 11-year-old, then we can.
And it means that we can have new identities.
It does. And I've had to do that before. We call it an informant.
Look at Tisha already trying to take lead of this fucking interrogation. And once they start to play it for a chunk, if you guys want, I'll pull up the better quality so you could actually see her and hear it, because this quality sucks. And so if we're gonna do it, we may as well do it fucking right. And I'll just timestamp when they pause and stuff, so we'll know. And I'll flip back and forth, because it's really worth seeing it and like seeing her facial expressions along with hearing it clearly. But she's like, well, listen, like before I talk, we're dealing with possible having to do witness protection, like new identities. You could do that. Grusing's like, yeah, we could do that. And she's like, oh shit. Okay. Hey, honey.
I've had to do that before. We call it an informant, but we can do it for the general public. Who else would you trust?
I don't know, like, sir. I don't know. There's nothing that happened at any house. Nothing that happened at any house that would have hurt, harmed, murdered, done anything to anyone.
Definitely, Megan.
Okay. Wrong place, wrong time.
You were in the wrong place, or Gannon was?
I was.
What about Gannon?
We all were in the wrong place. Even my family was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Even Raina, even Harley. Okay, all of us in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I swear to you on that.
So,
but I got to get
like
self-soothing. We have self-soothing here. We have arms cradling the stomach. She uncrosses her legs. We have a little bit of a rock back and forth. This is a self-soothing technique, which is indicating that she is feeling emotions, whether it is stress, anxiety, and she is now doing a self-soothing technique to help alleviate that stress.
Issues, let me tell you where I am. So I'm with the FBI, when a child goes missing, if they're underage, then we can get involved, and it can be even a kidnapping. So if Gannon is moved from one point to another without his, will, then it's a child kidnapping.
Right.
And so that's what we're working with as. And with me as a federal employee.
It wasn't about catching her, Candace. Unfortunately, they really were always a step behind, but they could not charge her. It is extremely hard to convict someone of murder without a body. And so during that, January 27th to March 2nd time period, they were searching for Gannon. They knew, based on the house and the crime scene, the likelihood that a child of that age and size would survive the amount of blood loss that they know he sustained is very minimal. And so they were focusing on those pretext calls with Al's, trying to see what information they can obtain. They eventually knew she was out of state and where she was. But then once it was clear that she wasn't going to be willingly giving over anything, they got enough to charge her. Conveniently, divine intervention again. Gannon's body was found. He was found the 7th, so 15 days after she was arrested.
With me working a federal case, because right now it's filed with the district attorney,
Right.
but the U.S. attorney could file it as well.
So at
Does that
this
make
point, Gannon's body has not been recovered. Gannon's body would not be found for 15 more days. So Letecia still felt like she had control.
sense?
What do you mean?
The U.S. attorney is the federal
Yes, leader.
Okay.
prosecutors.
Gotcha.
Right now it's on the state. When you're talking to me, we are recording this for your integrity in mind.
Right.
But if you'd rather not say something, I mean, if I would rather you just say, I don't want to answer it instead of telling me something that's not true.
Okay.
Because there's something called false statements, which is it's U.S. code 1001, to where if you lie to us during an investigation, that can be a year prison time.
Right. I got
So
you.
that's why I said on this last one, if you want to not answer a question, I'm not going to push you.
Okay.
Okay. So with these people, you know, taking Gannon or whatever else, if it's not true, just say, I'd rather not answer that. Okay. Because we're different than your local detectives and whatever else. It's not a felony to lie to them.
Okay.
Okay. So my goal though is to find Gannon.
Right.
And if you need protection, if there truly is someone out there, we can provide that.
That's not me.
Happen though, I will need you to explain what happened from that night,
Which night?
the night that he disappeared.
So I've stopped it at 12 minutes, Judge. Just as a pause. In the beginning portion of that, Mr. Grusing, when you're advising her that she's been charged with murder, it appears that she acts like she's confused. What was your impression of that?
Yeah, so eventually she asked me, so Gannon's been murdered, but yeah, she appeared to be confused as to why she was there and what investigation might have been going on at the time.
She makes a statement, you could have just called me.
Yes.
Was that basically indicating that could have just called her and she would have come in and talked?
Yeah, and that's something I've heard multiple times over my career of why didn't you just call me instead of I have to be arrested for this?
Were you aware that very early on in this investigation, she was resisting calls from Detective Bethel to come in and give an interview?
I was.
She makes a statement that she's been begging every single day for somebody to help her and says stuff like, I can't help if you don't help me. What was your takeaway from that?
Yeah, I think I could couple that with when she said that she would need even more help than the FBI could provide, whether it's DEA, and then she rolled into she needs secret identities for herself and multiple people. I think she was giving me a task that she thought I couldn't meet, and therefore she might not have to talk about difficult things.
That's exactly.
Is the FBI equipped to do those things for witnesses that need protection?
We are. It takes a very extraordinary circumstance, but they could if they had to.
Okay, so I guess the question is if that was actually necessary here, could the FBI have provided that?
Yes.
So you were the right person to talk to if that was the eventuality?
I could get the right person for her.
Okay. You're not omnipotent.
No.
I want to jump into the next section. Did you have a chance to talk with her about the calls that we'd gone over, those consensual recorded calls?
Yes.
I'm going to jump to 12 minutes and 30 seconds, Judge. I can find my mouse on the screen. There it is. It's actually 12 minutes and 33 seconds. I can't get that 3 to cooperate with me.
You mean like talking to him? Oh, okay. So let me just explain that to you. And you might think that's like super, like
I'm not going to
whatever.
judge you here. Latecia.
Whatever. to him was the reason I already knew someone was listening. But because of
Tisha's like, listen, so I already knew someone was listening with all those calls with Al, okay? I knew. Yeah, I was told. No. She was paranoid about it. She mentioned multiple times on those calls, who's listening? Are you recording me? But she made herself brush it off like she was paranoid or something. Or she was just a fucking moron. Because she never would have spoken about the things she's spoken about if she truly believed the FBI was listening or anything like that.
him not ever like being like supportive, and I tried originally to talk to him when he first got there. That was the only reason I said those things to him, was just because I was out of anger and out of like hurt and not being able to have like support. It was nothing to do with like I'm sitting here going to tell you to be support. That was just anger, stupidity.
Council approach, please.
Let's pause that 13
Up.
minutes and 11
Up. We have the defense making an objection here. Not too happy. All right, Will Cook.
seconds.
Okay, the judge wants a break here. I'm going to take camera 7 for a second. Now let's show the judge's face during sidebar. They're probably just asking for a break, saying, hey, 5 hours, we're not going to sit here the whole time. Can we take a break now and then watch a little and come back? For Lindsay,
Picking back up from where we left off, it's at 13 minutes and 11 seconds and playing again from there.
No break then.
And I already knew, like if you heard it, you heard me say a lot of times, I know people are listening because I know at the same time that someone called, every time I could hear people. Right. I knew that. So
yeah,
me saying those things to him was just being, what is the word you want to call it? Selfish or facetious or whatever you want to call it. Just because that was, I was hurt by him not wanting to work together to figure this out, because I did.
Let that sink in. She's saying right now, I was hurt that Al didn't want to be with me, so I fed him a bunch of lies, but I knew you guys were listening in on those calls. I totally knew.
Did have like originally initial different thoughts on certain things, and that was me trying to like basically read him and try to figure the situation out. So I understand that you may have heard those or whatever you may have heard, and that's okay, because that totally was not. That was not me trying to be. That was just being stupid to him.
So I have a question.
So, and it's paused right now at 13 minutes and 59 seconds. Mr. Grusing, what were your impressions of her saying that she's giving all this misleading information in those phone calls because she's just angry?
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to comment besides that. Instead of being focused like Al was and the rest of us of trying to find what happened to an 11-year-old boy, she was again focusing on her feelings.
Does it also, though, show potentially that it's very calculated, that she's doing things in response to what's happening in the investigation?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then we'll just play from here until 15 minutes and 42 seconds. In this particular section, do you remember asking her about mental health and sound mind and those types of things?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll play starting here and go to 15 minutes and 42 seconds.
This is in
regards to that, were you of sound mind? I mean, did you have, are you undergoing?
Look at Grusing's fucking dress socks. Can I just say, you can see that they go up to mid-calf. They look fucking phenomenal. I love men's dress socks. I love men's dress anything. But he is fucking dapper. And what I want you to pay attention to, even though I know this is going to pan across probably 3 live streams, because the interrogation is so long. Dapper as fuck is right, Kate. The difference between their body languages. Grusing, I think, maybe adjusts himself once. Tisha's going to be, and I made a joke when we went over this, she will essentially, by the end of this interrogation, be facing the wall. I'm not kidding. And she folds into herself like a lawn chair. So just pay attention to the differences.
Any treatment for anxiety or any depression or anything like that right now?
Oh, I love
like,
that. Thank you, Courtney.
I've had anxiety since I was like,
That's such a compliment.
but like as far as like undergoing like any kind of special treatment, you know, like sometimes I might have to take like a little rest.
Right.
But I didn't see like counselors.
Nice
ATS.
ATS.
Or any kind of,
Yes.
like, depression. And then plus two, like right now, with I already got medical records. I'm 8 weeks pregnant, so I can't see.
Oh, what was that? Yeah, I'm 8 weeks pregnant, sir. So I can't take any lorazepam. Never mind during the Bethel interview where I said I needed my lorazepam. I'm 8 weeks pregnant now, sir. And by the end of this interrogation, I will be having a miscarriage. So yeah.
I know. Like, I mean, I wish I could because then it would help a lot with the anxiety. But
she's gonna have a cash baby.
I can't.
She's gonna have a cash baby.
So you were of sound mind when you were talking to Al. You were upset with him and upset with the situation of him not being by your side through this whole thing.
Right. But then at the same time, like I have to sit back and think, you know, in a person's brain, you hear 100 different things. You do get do whatever. I just wanted him to know, because he knows. Like I've been taking care of our kids like for so long. Like I'm not here to bash either one of them. They had a lot of different separate situations going on that I've always taken care of the kids. And so there's been times I've protected them from so many people, you know.
So it's now paused again at 15 minutes and 42 seconds. Why are you asking these types of questions about sound mind and mental health based questions?
Well, I spoke with the district attorney's office before the interview, and they suggested that I ask them. I don't always ask these of people that I'm interviewing, but because of the varying stories and because of the district attorney's office and investigators looking forward to trial, we wanted to make sure that she knew what she was doing while she was talking to Al during our investigation. And then while
that was so smart of them to specifically ask Grusing, hey, when you get her in interrogation, ask questions based around if she felt like she was a sound mind, ask her mental health history, because at this point, again, they did not have Gannon's body. So even more of a defense would have been an issue to try to claim insanity just for the false statements, but they didn't have a body to even connect her to. So this was really a smart move.
She was doing while she was talking to Al during our investigation, and then while I was even talking to her at the present.
When these types of investigations are ongoing, is the investigation goal to try to build a case that will plead out, or do you have to assume that it will go to trial?
We assume that it'll go to trial.
You asked her, was she sound mind during this time? Do you remember what her response was in that?
She
yes,
said that, well, I can't remember right after that, but she referenced the reason why she was doing what she was doing to Al was to make him come back to her in the relationship, basically.
In that particular call, or I'm sorry, in that particular portion of the interview, it's at 15 minutes exactly when you ask about, were you sound mind? And she says, right.
Yes.
And then she goes into that description of taking care of the kids. Does this start to build in your mind when we talk about that pattern of behavior and then that pathway to violence that you talked about? I haven't gotten to the question yet.
Shut up, Cook.
Let's get all the way to the end of the question first, and then we'll see whether it's leading or not.
Does that information that she's giving you there build into that grievance portion of that pathway to violence?
Yes.
In what way?
She was articulating that in her mind, she felt like she was a good mother and she was a good caretaker for Gannon. And that she had, over the phone calls, expressed multiple grievances. And we actually addressed that later on in the interview when we go through her phone searches. We go into more of the grievance portion later, but just that she brought up her being the caretaker initially is something that we addressed later on in the interview.
Yeah. Do you remember asking her about what kind of dad Al is to Gannon?
I don't at this
Okay.
point.
Well, let's jump to that portion of the interview starting at 15 minutes and 53 seconds.
Looks like he is cutting bits out. Just a little bit so far.
I'm actually going to jump to 15 minutes and 49 seconds, and we'll play it to 17 minutes and 10 seconds.
Like I've had to step in and protect them a lot, so many times.
What kind of dad would you say Al was to Gannon or is to Gannon?
Oh, he's a good dad. Like, I mean, as far as like being like there for him and like, you know, how can I say it? Like, if he says, hey, I want to go do something, Albert works a lot, so he's tired and his hours are like kind of, you know, up in the air here and there. But for the most part, he like is always trying to make sure he puts, you know, like the kids, military first, and always will be, and that's the mindset. And then
Did you go into the marriage knowing that?
kids.
That military was first?
Well, I grew up like knowing that my stepdad was here. Actually, that's why I was looking at that guy's name. But my stepdad was here. I lived on. So, like, I maybe didn't understand it from parent perspective. I mean, I'm sorry, spouse perspective, like my mom's perspective.
Right.
But I did understand it from like a child perspective. But the thing about it was, is Albert didn't have to like go be deployed or anything like that. It was mostly like work through the night type thing. So it was like we were blessed in that way of not having have to see him go overseas or something like that.
Right.
Hi, Lisa.
So,
Holy shit,
when you're
literally.
asking her about how Al is to Gannon as a father, she references that she grew up as a military child as well.
Correct.
She mentions her stepdad. At any point, either during the phone calls or up to this point in the interview, did she ever mention any abuse by stepdad?
She did not.
In that last section that we heard where you're asking her about being in sound mind, she mentioned having anxiety and taking lorazepam. Did she mention anything during that section of this?
Yeah, Homer. What she's describing is being a mom, honestly. And you guys know, for the most part, how I feel about this. I think it's a blessing. And I think it's an honor to have the role of being a mom and to take care of the children and to take care of the house. And obviously, if you want to have a career and work, go for it. But if you also are capable of being stay at home and taking care of the children and taking care of the house and putting dinner on the table, it's a blessing and it's an honor and it's a privilege that we're really not able to do in today's day and age with being able to afford it and stuff. But Letecia looked at it as a fucking task, and she wanted to not work, so she didn't have any motivation to have a career. It's not like, oh, I just didn't want to be home with the kids, which I could understand if you want a career, but she didn't want a career, and she also didn't want to take care of those kids, and it's really fucking sad.
This interview about having any severe mental health disorders or diseases?
No.
Did she ever mention being in treatment for extended periods of time for any mental health issues?
No.
Did she ever mention losing consciousness and not showing up someplace else that she didn't recognize?
No.
Did you go over family history with her during this interview?
Yes.
So let's watch that next. And it's essentially 17 minutes and 12 seconds to 21 minutes and 20 seconds.
Hey, Elle,
And you guys
contact
have been
via
married
email.
6 years, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. And you came to the marriage with Harley,
Right.
and then Elaine is the youngest.
Right.
Mhm.
And then we had like maybe I think 4 or 5 went to like kind of midterm miscarriages because we always try to like have kids. And I don't know, like something must have happened. Like when I get to a certain point, it would have been more kids.
Right.
But yeah.
Do you think Al was faithful to you? Was he cheating on you?
I don't like. We never had like any conversation until like, of course, Matt, like recently.
Al Stauch cheating, Colorado Springs. Your Google searches. You accused him of cheating on every fucking call we listened to.
But like prior to that, we never had like buses, or it might be something like Albert's the type of person. When he got work, he just liked to come home. He wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna
Exactly,
go do
Randa.
people. He just wasn't. That was the good part, because he wasn't, like, not saying you can't, like, I'm sure you might say if a football game's on, watch it with your friends.
Right.
Usually, for the most part, we do it together, do something together, but it was never really like having our own people that we did things with. But we never like had issues of anything like that. Most of the time, the issues that we always had was I never wanted the kids to ever come back here. A lot of times they would celebrate and we begin. But he would always say, well, I have to, I'm obligated to.
So you don't think he was cheating on you prior to this whole thing going on with family? Or did you suspect? Or no?
That Albert was cheating on me?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's been times in the past where I saw that he's talked to other women, like on messages and things like that. But then he's also like, you guys have my phone. In the past, you would have saw that he's always apologized for like this.
Were you guys considering divorce or no? You and Albert?
I didn't know anything about any kind of divorce. Like, I know, like, we've used the term loosely, because there was a lot of stress having to deal with, like, situation with Brandon. There was a lot of stress because, like, we fought so hard and so long to get kids to, like, a safe, situation. So it was very hard to, like, you've read someone and they're so emotionally like upset about the kids not being with us and we not being able to protect them that it was kind of hard. It took a lot, toll throughout that time frame of like Alaska, I'm sure time in Alaska. So during that time in Alaska and stuff, it was very hard to like have to see him be so upset from so many miles away. We get calls that kids didn't have a place to stay. We get calls that there were guns in the back of their car and people were being arrested. And so that took its toll in the terms of like figuring we should not have to like go through these things. But then once like we got to Colorado, we all could be in like one place. And then it was like at first it was like kind of hard because we've been, like back and forth to Alaska for so long. Because, if you know the background, I had the kids here for their school year for Gannon and Lena. So
yep, Rachel.
Lena was the first grade year, and Gannon fourth grade year. Yeah. So they would have went to school here. So I had them here with us then. Still with that, it was
Natasha,
like being part, going back and forth, traveling on holidays, things like that. So that would have been the most. Just by the time, like, so when we got to Colorado, it was just like, okay, we're here. We are together. And we said stupid things to each other. Like, I don't know. But like the things that we could do to be like, okay, we'll forget all this. Or if you do this, we'll do it and forget all this.
Right.
But it's silly stuff.
So it's paused at 21:20. And before I jump into these next questions, just noticing the time, do you want me to go to about 10:30 and then?
It's up to you. I was actually just going to say whenever you could find a break in the next 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Okay, sounds good. This particular section, Mr. Grusing, was she able to recount details over this 5-year period that her and Mr. Stauch have been together?
Yes.
Does she indicate any trouble remembering these details?
No.
Did she also even give you recounting silly arguments that they would have, that kind of thing?
Yes, she did.
Did that indicate to you that she appeared to be able to recall things fairly easily?
Yes.
Little Red, did you see my message?
Do you remember talking with her about where she starts talking about people are being upset and she uses the words hard part. This is the hard part.
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and watch that section. And this is from 23:45 to 25:51. I'm actually going to start at 23:35 and then we'll go to 25:51.
From a distance going through that because I still deal with dads 14 years later who are looking for their daughters at bus stops and malls and whatever. So,
and see, that's the hard part is like people are like, you know, being upset, and I'm like, I haven't had the opportunity to like even just sit down and be like, okay, well, this is, I've given my life to take care of these children. I have. They shouldn't. You know, and I've done that. And it's so hard because inside that, I don't get to express that emotion to have that, you know, to say to anyone, anything like that. And that was difficult because I've had to just be like, how can I make the situation back, you know, like, come on, let's be honest.
I'm John. By the way.
John.
Yeah.
I mean, like Albert was talking about, and again, whether you make mistakes or not. I mean, literally woke up on Christmas. I always make it about the kids on Christmas because they don't get to spend Christmas with them. So like if they went home for the holidays, you know, they might leave, you know, school gets out. We might not see them until, you know, January. So I always spent my time trying to make sure every time, I didn't believe in certain holidays, I did Halloween, but to make sure every holiday was like revolved around the situation. So if you look at the situation, I went, you know, we have every house and cars and we have whatever. So I worked my entire life in education. So to me, it's like everything I work so hard for, everything I work, you know, whether it's in the military or, you know, service and things like that, no matter how much we had did on that, it took us everything to get to right. And that was where we were at in our safe spot. So for a person who can, you know, take care of everyone and do everything for everyone, and then just cannot do it for a split second, that's the hardest part. You know, knowing that this is an image getting set on me, all these horrible things, all these things that are just not true.
Well, that's what we'd like to get to today.
And so, Mr. Grusing, where she's talking about, I've given my life to take care of these kids, is this building more on that grievance portion that we talked about earlier?
Yes, I was asking her about, well, I was talking to her about when kids go missing, how hard it is on parents, families, society, et cetera. And then she, you know, talked about herself again, and then what she tried to do to be a mom. And yeah, I would see that as, and then she went from there to holidays, you know, so
she could have just,
she wasn't going where I would like her to go to see the gravity of us looking for an 11-year-old child.
Is that another indication of trying to distract away from the main focus of what this?
Oh, he'll get into the Gannon. Have you seen this before, Candace? He'll get into the Gannon stuff, but what made Grusing, honestly, we're so lucky that Grusing ended up being assigned to this case. If she had gotten a female, it wouldn't have gone this way. If she had gotten more of a combative male who was maybe louder, it wouldn't have gone this way. It worked so perfectly because Grusing, in the first half of this interrogation, gave her the slack. He gave her the room to feel like she had control just by not trying to guide the conversation so much. In the second half, he whips that ass and he takes control without raising his voice, without moving his stature. It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
Investigation was about.
Yes.
Judge, this might be a good time.
He knew
the next
exactly
section is about 13 minutes
He knew
long.
when to go in for the bite.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take our morning break. If I can have everyone back in the jury room at, say, 10:45, we should be able to start on time at that point. Again, don't discuss the case among yourselves. Don't discuss.
All right, guys, so I'll pause it there. Yeah, I could go with Grusing. I could keep watching for like a long time, but it makes sense to stop with the breaking points. So I'll pause there. But honestly, like and I'm going to jump forward, I'm going to jump forward to see, because I'd rather pull up the original so we could see her face, man. I'm a little bit, Lisa, I'm not going to lie. I'm a smidge jealous. But Grusing just worked so well. I don't know. It was his composure, because everyone has different personalities. That's the truth. Cutie pie. Everyone has different personalities. everyone reacts differently. Like, I know that even though like I'm very loud and I could come off aggressive, I work like if you give me a different type of personality, I'll become submissive, you know, like the same way Letecia Grusing's personality and the way he handled it worked well for her personality. But if you put me in a room with someone who has the wrong personality, I'll get really defensive, right? I'll nope. Same with Tisha. If it was a female, we were screwed. But if it was even a guy who pushed too much, she would have cracked down. Like, I don't know, it just worked out perfect. But he is what we're gonna do after the trial is we're gonna go over his interview. He went on where did he go on? What channel? I haven't watched it. Yeah, he gave her a daddy. I know, dude. I really like Grusing. He's tall. He's tall and charming. I really like Grusing. But okay, so please don't forget tomorrow afternoon, we are having ATS News's virtual baby shower. We have lots of variety of games set up. We have gift cards for the winners. And I'm just so excited to come together and celebrate the newest addition to our little YouTube family. So I would love if you guys all come and you hang out and we shower ATS with some love. I have her Amazon wish list if you'd like to purchase an item for the new baby linked at the top of the chat for that live and in the description. But just come and hang out and have some fun. I'm really, really excited. No, it's at 2:30 Eastern. So just like a normal Sunday shower would be in real life, that is it. And then we're doing the Wade live tomorrow night. So the next time we're going to be doing Tisha will be for members only Monday. Okay, so tomorrow there's a new call dropped on phone calls from prison. So we're going to be listening to that. I know the calls are jumping ahead to 2024. So I'm excited to see how Wade is between when we were first listening to the calls to now 2024 calls. And then we have the third, if you're a Patreon member, keep an eye out because we have the third really nasty poop shoot puddle call that we're going to be airing over on Patreon. So thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your Saturday night. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for the baby shower. Was it the burner phones that the police traced to her Florida to find the body? So no, the way that they found the body, Candace, they knew that Letecia was going across the state because she stopped at numerous hotels. And she was making purchases and things like that. The way that they found Gannon's body was pure divine intervention. Letecia had discarded Gannon's body in the suitcase over an overpass. She did cross states and she eventually ended up in Myrtle Beach in the Carolinas. They knew she was there on those most recent calls that we were listening to between Letecia and Al. So when Letecia claims like, oh, I'll meet up with you for lunch, Al knew because the FBI told her she's not even here. She's not even in Colorado. But it was divine intervention. After this interview that we're watching, Letecia was arrested March 2nd. 15 days later, every 5 years, bridge inspectors come to the bridge and look over and make sure, hey, does it look right? Is there any damage being done? Once every 5 years, okay? And it just so happened the bridge inspectors came for that specific bridge and they saw this suitcase. And they saw the suitcase in the corner of their eye, but at first they didn't touch it, nothing, like they went on about their day. But something brought them back, and curiosity is the reason that they opened it up, because what's inside the suitcase, right? It's a big suitcase. There was no odor or anything like that until they opened the suitcase. And when they opened the suitcase, it's very emotional testimony listening to you see like the little feet and the socks pop out. And that is when the smell hit and became overwhelming, which I think it's very important to keep that, because I know the smell is a big issue for a lot of us, but that's interesting to note that the smell was not there until the suitcase was open. So they had a good idea that it was Gannon, but it took the next day or the day after before they confirmed it was Gannon. And so, yeah, it was divine fucking intervention. And it was when they went back, right, and they noted that Letecia stayed right in that state, in that area, one of the nights as she was traveling across the country, that they knew. But it was divine intervention, because if that bridge had just gotten inspected, it would be another 5 years, right? Or even if the guy went and inspected it, he didn't have to open up that suitcase. I'm sure they see a lot of things underneath bridges, right? But something made him open it. And you want to know what's even crazier, Candace? We didn't get up to the Google searches yet during trial. We're still, we're going to get to that part. One of the Google searches Letecia looked up was maintenance checks under bridges. Tisha's not a smart person. I don't even know if I would ever think of that. And she essentially manifested how Gannon would be found. It would be from a maintenance worker checking. I thought that was pretty fucking crazy, because out of everything she searched, full facial transplant near me, how to get, somebody to admit to a crime and go to jail for life, she happened to Google search essentially exactly what would make her go down, yeah, she dropped him over the bridge from an overpass. She most likely thought his body, the suitcase would land in the water and he would be carried out. Yeah, of course, Candace. So it's well, please ask, Candace. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say we're a bunch of, Letecia experts here, but we've been studying this case every day for, you guys want to know what I realize? We've been studying this every day. It'll be a year next month, for a whole year. Like, we really haven't stopped. So if one of us doesn't know the answer, another person will here. We are pretty educated with this case. So if you have any questions, always ask. Seriously, it's such a fascinating one just because of the psychology behind it. It's one of the worst cases I've ever seen, not just because of the crime, because of what her behavior was after. Yeah, crazy but not insane, Candace. Crazy but not insane. That's the hard part. She is batshit fucking crazy, but she knows the difference between right or wrong. Exactly, Candace. So always ask. We love to share. We like to talk about it, and we love to hear new people's feedback on it, because it's so fascinating. It really is. Yeah, Homer, it's another victim of Letecia. She has so many victims of so many different circumstances, and what that bridge inspector saw, it was such emotional testimony. He'll have to live with that for the rest of his life. Brando, oh, you're funny. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your night. You guys are absolutely amazing. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for some fun and games. And yeah, I will talk to y'all soon.
The people are really nice. Everybody knows my name.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Lying down the highway in a makeshift Model TA. Woo, yeah, woo. It's a beautiful morning and it's gonna be a beautiful day. The wheels are humming, the guitar
She keeps on. She keeps on. She keeps on. She keeps on. She keeps on.
You can hear the music from 26 miles away. Smiling is happy, and happy is here to stay. Yeah.
Keeps on. 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 She keeps on talking to me.